Good morning, my beautiful Scorpios. This morning we are doing an Archangel Oracle cards reading. Archangels of love, please touch my heart with peace and serenity. Show me how I can do my part to spread your light joyfully. Okay. Your first two cards, Scorpio, are Archangel But Yalil and Archangel Sandalphon. And the messages from these cards are to be interdependent, expand your horizons, and to tune into your divine potential, bring the world into harmony. So, when this card talks about being interdependent, there's a difference between being interdependent and codependent. Interdependent is, when we have friends and we socialize. Some of you may be networking during this month, expanding your horizons, putting out business cards, promoting your business. You'll be expanding your horizons by being interdependent. Let's see what additional messages we have for these cards. All right. So this card calls you to expand your horizons. This is an important incarnation for you. So step up to be all you can be. Oh, some of you may be joining the army. Develop interdependence, for this is the quality that will enable the new golden age to flourish. As you practice it, others will follow your light. Invoke unicorns and ask them to work with you, and your purity will be noted. So, you know how some people work with fairies, some people work with unicorns. Your higher guidance is to influence people and promote a flow of goodwill, love, peace, and accord by liaising with others, communicating and cooperating for the highest good. You will enable your life to flow in harmony. So, some of you may be changing the way you speak as well, the way you communicate in March. Maybe some of you are getting a book about communication or books about communication. Just paving the way for a better life is what I see, because our words, let's take words out of the equation for a second, but our thoughts, and then let's bring them back in. Our thoughts can become our words or our actions. And it's almost like you are learning more about communication in March so that you can further your life and the lives of others. We also have Archangel Sandalphon, which says, tune into your divine potential, bring the world into harmony. So basically, by you focusing on your words and your thoughts and your actions, you are tuning into your potential and bringing the world into divine harmony. We have additional messages from Archangel Sandalphon. And let's see what Archangel Sandalphon has to say. This is my first time using these cards, so please be patient with me. So when you receive this card, you are advised to strengthen your spiritual foundations. Call on Archangel Sandalphon to help you develop your Earth Star chakra and open up the higher potential of all your chakras by placing his fifth dimensional silver reflective bubble over you. Sense it around you. Ask Archangel Sandalphon to connect you to the true notes of your divine blueprint. You may feel them resonating through the cells of your body and your energy fields, them reverberating throughout the universe. Take a moment to feel your essence chiming with the notes of everyone on Earth, bringing everything into perfect harmony. So, this actually kind of reminds me of a book I've been reading called Attract Happiness, and I think it is by Joseph Murphy. I'm not really sure if that's his last name or not, but it talks about how we are all connected basically, and if we judge somebody else, we're judging ourselves or we're punishing ourselves. And it's a really interesting book. So, some of you in March are tuning into your divine potential to bring the world into harmony. When you give yourself permission to be happy, you give others permission to be happy. So, and that's not really what the world teaches us when we're growing up, right? The world teaches us that we need to give a lot, we need to sacrifice a lot. And, when we end up tired and unhappy, surrounded by tired and unhappy people, it's like it's a manifestation of all we've been taught. And if we would just relearn certain things and allow ourselves space and time to be happy, other people have permission to be happy as well. So, you have some sort of divine life purpose that you may be realizing in March. And once you realize this divine life purpose, you could be connecting and networking with people in March. There are professional groups out there like that where you go somewhere and you network with a lot of people. And it doesn't have to be, you know, um, just because it's your divine life purpose, doesn't mean it has to be something spiritual. Your divine life purpose could be a detective or a cop or a nurse or a doctor. And you go to some sort of convention to network with people in March, just to build your professional skills. We also have Archangel Amethyst and Cherubim. I like the color amethyst and I also like the stone. But Archangel Amethyst says, purify your life with love, prepare for something better. So to me, this archangel is about not holding on to the past. Now, in order not to hold on to the past, we have to do what's called an acid test. An acid test is basically to see if you still have any bitterness toward the one who hurt you. And if that is still there, you have not forgiven them. An acid test is basically pretend that somebody comes up to you, right? And they tell you something good happened to your ex. And do you feel happy for them or do you hate them? Because if you hate them for having something good happen to them, you still haven't forgiven them. And that is what's known as the acid test. So, you also have cherubim, look to the stars, accept keys and codes of stellar wisdom. So, if you're having trouble being positive right now or learning about positivity, maybe it would help you better to look towards the stars. Some people, they believe in astrology more than they believe in spiritual books. I like spiritual books, but somebody else may read a spiritual book and they may think it's full of crap, and but if they were to read an astrology book or look towards the stars or learn certain things about the stars, um it could help them with better understanding why things are the way they are, is what I'm trying to say. um let's get your additional messages from Archangel Amethyst. So you are ready for an ascension leap. You're ascending, Scorpio. However, you must first transmute any vibrations that no longer serve you. So you're being asked to examine your life. Is anyone holding you back? Do you feel stuck in any particular area? Is your work satisfying or is it time for a change? Do you need to release an old belief? Sometimes we have these old, outdated beliefs that hold us back. Like if you were raised in the Christian church, one of your beliefs might be that women should always submit to men. And if this belief is holding you back because you keep meeting men that take advantage of this belief, then maybe this is a belief that you need to let go of. So the other thing I'm thinking of is it's not just people that you need to release. You need to release items associated with the people. Because, if some of you have problems with forgiveness, every time you look at a certain person's items, you just get a bad feeling. And if you would just throw away those items, you wouldn't have to keep looking at them and getting a bad feeling. So, um, you can either put the stuff out on the lawn for them to pick up, or you can throw it away, depending on what it was. But of course, always, talk to a lawyer or someone else first. Don't let me give you legal counsel because I don't want you to get in trouble for something I said. So make sure whatever you are doing is legal and within the confines of the law. Um, so when you have identified issues, people, or energies that have fulfilled their purpose, ask Archangel Amethyst to help you release them with love. Call on her to bathe you in her amethyst light to transmute all lower vibrations. So, some of you may need to literally get some amethyst, possibly. If you do not believe in angels, maybe getting amethyst would help you with releasing certain things. Um, know that she is doing all that you allow her to do in order to assist your transition. The power of your new visions will attract different people, work, or situations into your life. Ensure that your thoughts are positive so that you replace the old with something better. And this is so important. This is so important that you replace your thoughts with positive thoughts. Now, I'm not talking about toxic positivity. I completed a positivity workbook while working on myself, and toxic positivity is believing that everything will be all right all the time. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about looking at things from a positive point of view, which is, say if somebody gave you the wrong ice cream at a store, not a grocery store, but say if you went to a place like Dairy Queen, okay, and they botched your order and they gave you a different ice cream. You could be angry about it, or you could be like, well, at least the ice cream is still good, at least it's not spoiled. And you're looking at the positive, you're being level-headed, level-minded. You're just looking at things from a positive point of view without being toxic about it. So, toxic is assuming that everything's going to go right all the time when we know that's not how life works. Okay. Um, so, just being thankful for the little things. And children are like this. We can learn so much from children. You put a child out in the yard and they're so amazed by the grass and the flowers and the butterflies, and everything to them is just so amazing. But then when we are adults, we don't think it's amazing. We think it's boring, right? And we'd rather be looking at our cell phones. And cell phones actually lower your melatonin in your brain. Every time you look at your cell phone screen, you lower your melatonin. And when you don't have that much melatonin, it's hard for you to go to sleep at night. So it's almost like we've de-evolved as a society and replaced certain things with things that are bad for our health. But I'm going off on a tangent here. You get what my point is. My point is to be grateful for the little things, like you have grass on your lawn, you have a beautiful garden, you have a lot going for you. And, even if you feel like you don't have a lot going for you, you find the little things in what you have to be grateful for. At least you have a bike or maybe a working car, just something to be grateful for, because you want to attract better into your life, Scorpio. You don't want to stay in the low vibrational energy, even if you grew up around it. Some people, they grew up around negative energy and they're so used to it that it's hard for them to let go of it and get into positive thinking. Interesting, right? So, happiness is a habit and it takes time. You have to practice this habit daily to bring in what you want. Now, with the cherubim, look to the stars, accept keys and codes of stellar wisdom. Some of you could be looking up birth charts, okay? Which is another interesting thing. Me personally, I do background checks on people, but if you want to, you can look up somebody's birth chart. And I've looked up a few birth charts and I found some interesting information. If you go on Google and you type free birth charts, you can find a person's birth chart and you can scroll down the birth chart to, I think, their planet that is in Lilith, and you can find the negative aspects of them. And sometimes I've looked up a person's birth chart and I found that they tend to blame everyone they're with for their relationship problems. And that's the type of person I would not want to be with, okay? So but it says you are blessed to receive the cherubim card, for it indicates that you are being lit by beautiful angelic energy. You are being asked to bring this through you and pass it on to others to switch their lights too. So, whatever you're learning as far as positivity goes or how to make your life better, you need to share it with people. You need to pass it on. Don't just hoard the knowledge to yourself. Whether you understand it or not, you are a universal being connected to the stars. Tune into their wisdom by looking at them and thinking about them, and accept the keys and codes of universal light that are being downloaded into you. This will enable you to become an intergalactic master when the time is right. Indeed, you may be one already. Know that pure, innocent, loving cherubs are uplifting and inspiring you. Feel their joy and let it enhance your life. So, some of you are studying astrology in March, and this is helping you to prepare for something better. And it doesn't even have to be astrology, it could be learning about angels, learning about spirituality. It kind of reminds me of the saying, we are all made of stars, and what that means is we all have the same elements that the stars do. You also get Archangel Perlimic, let nature serve you, serve the nature kingdom. Some of you could be working in nature in March, maybe studying horticulture. And you get Lord Why Wisel, accept and send healing. You are a being of the universe. So something in nature could be healing you, and you could be letting other people know about it. It kind of reminds me of the aloe vera plant. People buy aloe vera plants and they break the leaves and they open them and they get the aloe vera and rub it on their burns or what they need to use it for, and it heals them. And then if they have someone nearby them, like a family member or friend, they tell other people about it. Like, take this aloe vera, it healed me, it will heal you. So, with your nature card, it says being in nature calms and balances you so that you can see everything through a loving lens. It also enables you to heal and regenerate. For some of you, this is like your morning coffee. You get up and you sit in a forest for like 1 or 2 hours and then you're awake. Your guidance is to connect with a tree today. These beautiful entities are keepers of local knowledge, and they will automatically download it into you through your energy fields. Each kind of tree has specific qualities and gifts to offer you, such as help with forgiveness, abundance, consciousness, or grace. Simply tune in and know that you will receive what is right for you. So, your guidance is also to serve nature today. Touch or think of a tree, invoke a spiritual energy, and visualize it pouring down through that tree and into its roots and spreading through the tree network. So, there are actually books about trees. I have a book about trees that I have not been reading lately, but it talks about the different trees and their different purposes. So, for example, if you wanted forgiveness, but you're not a Christian or you don't believe in the traditional God, you can actually go to a pine tree. And I've never heard of this before. This was the first time I ever heard of this, but it talked about doing something with a pine tree to get forgiveness and leave your problems, I guess, at the tree. They say leave your problems at the door. Well, I guess, leave your problems at the tree. And hanging out with a tree does not mean you have to sit there and be bored or do a ritual. You don't have to do any of that. You could just be reading a book under a tree. Um, so you also got accept and send healing. You are a being of the universe. Okay. So if while you're sitting under a tree, you get healing, maybe some of you want to leave an offering for that tree, or you want to send healing to that tree. Like, bring some water for the tree, water the tree. I don't know. I guess I'm starting to sound like a crazy person, but I really, I don't care. Okay. And the reason I don't care is because I'm reading oracle cards, and I like oracle cards because they're so positive. So with accept and send healing, you get you're a being of the universe, and one whose influence at a soul level extends beyond Earth. Okay. So some of you could be astral traveling in March, or, you know, your purpose, your influence extends beyond the earth. You influence more than just the earth. To align your frequency with the great angel Wisel, find a quiet space, center yourself, and invoke him. Know that he is connecting with you and open yourself to his guidance. Be aware that much is expected of you. So, with great responsibility comes great power. Okay, Scorpio, if you know certain, with great power comes great responsibility. I reversed it. Okay. If you know certain things, you're going to have a lot expected of you. Okay. Because in the past, you may have not known certain things. And now that you're learning and growing, a lot will be expected from you. Okay. Not that it's a bad thing. When you return to waking life after spending time with this angel, make a note of any memories or impressions you have received. This is a great healing angel. So allow yourself to receive healing and send it to others. And because this healing card was underneath your nature card, I think it's about you connecting with angels and nature. Maybe, it could be that when you're in your room or your house, you don't really feel connected to angels. But when you're out in nature, you do. Because in some situations, we have to trust the angels and we have to trust the universe, um, you know, in order to feel safe. And it is in those situations where we feel like we believe in angels, and I'll just say it, we feel like we believe in God, because those are the situations where we have to trust God and angels in. So, it's talking about being out in nature and accepting healing, okay? You also have Archangel Ezrael. It's time to let go, prepare for change. And Archangel Duranka, hone your psychic abilities, see through illusion, okay? So, some of you are not detectives. I know a lot of Scorpios are detectives, not literally detectives, but detectives, as far as we will search for information. But if you're not somebody who, searches for information, you don't look in your person's phone and you don't look through their papers or any of that, you need to hone your psychic abilities to see through something you are not seeing in March, okay? And you also need to get to the root of what's going on, because this is not about the other person. Okay, we can talk about the other person day in and day out, and we can dog them, and we can be like, they lied, they cheated, they did this. We can get all negative, right? But the thing is something about us kept them. Okay. So and we have to find that missing piece of our soul fragment That missing piece of our soul is what I'm trying to say, that soul fragment that caused us to keep somebody around for so long. So if you're letting go of someone who lied or cheated, the question is, why were you holding on to them for so long? Is it because you are accepting what you could get? And if that's the case, it's time to let go, and you need to resolve not to do that anymore. Okay, breaking out of old bad habits. Um, so Archangel Ezrael, it's time to let go, prepare for change. And for some reason, when I think about this card, it reminds me of the scene in Mulan where Mulan and the soldiers took a while to get to a certain village to try to rescue somebody. And by the time they got there, the village was destroyed. And I think that was the same village where they found out that Mulan was a woman. And instead of, punishing Mulan for being a woman in the army, the lead drill instructor, or the lead soldier, kept saying "move out," and he finally even told the advisor "move out" or "move on," whatever it was he said. So it's time to let go, and it's time to prepare for change. This card advises you that it is time for a transition in your life. One part is ending and another is waiting to take its place. You may need to cut the cords to an aspect of your current life, maybe a person, a situation, a job, a house, or even a country. So some people that are refugees, they end up moving to other countries. Your guidance is to release the old graciously and courageously and prepare for the birth of something expected but unknown. It may be a creative project or a baby. You may even be relinquishing an old characteristic and birthing a new aspect of yourself. So, and this goes back to what I talked about in terms of positive thinking. If you're releasing negative thinking, you're going to be embracing and accepting positive thinking. Know that the universe is supporting you with the new, whatever it is. You are receiving healing, inspiration, and love from the angelic realms. Something good is coming into your life. Enjoy it. And it's okay to feel afraid. Sometimes the new can be scary, okay? Hone your psychic abilities, see through illusion, Archangel Duranka. So, Archangel Duranka is going to help you from going back, okay? You don't need to go back to what you were doing. You need to keep going on the path you're going on now. And the message is, you need to open up to the psychic abilities latent within you. To do this, expand your right brain by listening to your intuition and trusting your inner guidance. Practice choosing with your heart rather than your left brain. Focus on your throat chakra, your spiritual center of truth, and visualize an upward pointing triangle within it. This opens it up to allow Archangel Duranka and Archangel Michael to pour sacred geometric codes into it. Be aware of these angel sonics and know that your psychic abilities are being honed. Choosing this card reminds you that metaphorically you can fly. So expand your vision and focus on your wildest dreams. You have untapped gifts and abilities and are being invited to bring them forward, safe in the knowledge that all the support you need is available to you. So you need to let the past go so you can bring in better communication, positive thinking, new connections. Some of you have psychic abilities, but you need to work on them because you may be having difficulty with them because you may have been repressing them your whole life. Maybe you were surrounded by people that thought your abilities were evil, or that they didn't, they just didn't like them because your abilities exposed certain people. And you need to focus on your new beginning and hone your psychic abilities, okay? So this was a very good reading. I liked it. Um, Whenever we quit doing something, we have to replace it with something new. Otherwise, we're going to keep doing it. So if I wanted to let go of negative thinking, I have to replace it with positive thinking. Otherwise, I'm going to keep holding on to the negative thinking. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of thinking negatively. I'm tired of the same program running through my head, the same programs running through my head. Society basically teaches us to live in fear. And I'm not saying that it's wrong or right. I'm just saying eventually you get tired of hearing the same thing over and over and over again. And me personally, I'd rather think positively than negatively because thinking positively helps me to feel good. Um, it's not that, I think that nothing bad will ever happen. It's just that I'd rather think positively so I could feel good than thinking negatively and feeling bad. So, a lot of you have done a lot of growing up. And by growing up, I mean that you have learned that your thoughts influence your feelings, and your feelings influence your actions. And you have learned that you are the one that chooses how you want to feel. So, you choose what you want to think and what you want to feel. And that is powerful. You are taking your power back. Um, a lot of this stuff still kind of confuses me. And whatever I learn, I try to share with you guys. But I realize that not every situation applies to every spiritual law. Some people in this world really are being abused and mistreated, and they can think positive all day long and they're still trapped in the same situation. But we need to think positive when we are in a normal everyday situation, a normal everyday life, to feel good. It's part of loving ourselves. And I just really think you're going to have a good month in March. I think you're going to be happy. And to me, this is not even about a specific person. To me, it's not about having a baby or getting married. It's about you enjoying you. And some of you may have health problems and be in bed or be sick from certain things. But, if you think positively, you're still going to be happy. Um, I was happy last night, and it was so weird because it's been a long time since I've experienced that. And I was just thinking positive things. And it wasn't even extreme positive thoughts like everything will be all right. It was positive thoughts like little things that I am grateful for. And so we have to come to a place of acceptance and accept what makes us happy, even if it goes against society. If you like having 5 cats and having 5 cats makes you happy, then that's what makes you happy. Who cares about what other people think? And by giving yourself permission to be happy, you're giving others permission to be happy. So I hope you have a good month. And I hope you keep working on your psychic abilities, Scorpio. Thank you.